Greetings of love, eternally sacred soul. This is a multi-dimensional message about the beginning end of humanoid earthling historical perspectivitis, sent all the way from the center of the cosmosphere to the center of your heart chakra, which is a holy hologram of unconditional, undying love. In this transmission, we will do some cognitive dissonance clearing exercises, some emotional releasing, some envisioning, and learn to see our world in a new light. We are in the perfect time and place for a spiritual evolution, the consciousness shift, ascension, transcendence, which is the creation of worldwide peace on earth as it is heaven. There is no other time. There is no other place. We are one human race in one living space, and we are creating a global culture of peace, harmony, and love. This is our destiny, and it is happening now. How? We're changing our minds. The evolution of consciousness simply means that we think higher vibration thoughts. And that means we are transcending the ego. The human ego is addicted to low vibration thoughts, and the lowest vibration we can think is fear, terror, hatred, rage, revenge, feeling trapped like a slave, and so on. And the highest vibration we can feel is love for oneself, for everyone else, for this glorious heavenly planet and all its animals and plants, for the moon, love for the sun, indeed for all of creation, both physical and non-physical. These emotional vibrations can easily be envisioned with the image of the chakras, the 7 energy centers in the body, one for each color of the rainbow. Chakras are neutral, and they can be dark and stuck, or bright and spinning, according to the thoughts and emotions of the human. The ego dwells in the dark dungeon of the lower 3 chakras. Fear and anger are dark red in the root of the spine. Sexual problems and intimacy issues are dark orange in the sacral chakra. All power struggles, including addictions, are dark yellow in the belly. But bright green in the 4th chakra, your heart, is the vibration of love. This means that a conscious life begins at the ground floor of love, based in love. Humanity, most of us, have been suffering in a blackened basement for millennia. But now we are all climbing out into the light. Once we feel love, big love, real love, we can all climb the rainbow chakra ladder and access the higher spiritual qualities of human thought. philosophies that some people can think some of the time, but soon all of us will understand and speak our highest truths in the 5th chakra, the throat, sky blue. And then we will all be able to use the full potential of our 3rd eye chakra in the center of our mind, the pineal gland, indigo midnight blue, to access higher states of intuition and inspiration. And then, dear soul, we will all have a clear and open 7th chakra, the violet purple 1,000-petaled lotus open on the top of our crown, connecting us to intergalactic universal soul wisdom, the mind of God-sciousness. Whenever we want, we have this connection. And when we don't want to, when we just want to chill in our hammock, once we are operating from a base reality of love, our relaxing will be the deepest meditation imaginable, like napping in the perfect womb. Wow, right? But how is this happening? Again, it's as simple as transcending our egos. That's it? Yes, that's it. Not easy, but very simple. And how are we doing that? Well, the ego believes lies of fear, false evidence appearing real, and separation. And the ego reacts with violence, punishment, and suffering. But those faulty lies can be short-circuited with overriding truths. Then, of course, we have to clear out the old programs and remove the musty baggage from our dusty basements. With a smile and joy, we're doing it together. The newly re-emerging consciousness behind our spiritual evolution has a divine triad of soul truths that slash through the ego's lies. Number 1, each human is a sacred soul that is a holy hologram of the one primary Creatorix. That is to say, we are all divine fractals of God-sciousness, because all souls were created inside the one spirit womb of omniversal existence, for whom, by the way, there can be no accurate name, and for whom there could be no possible image. This means we are all micro-earthling versions of the macro-multiversal spiritual source. We are goddesses and gods personified by the highest design. The second overlapping circle of the holy transcendence truth triad is that every single human being is equal. There can be no superior or inferior. We were created in perfect equality. Yes, I know. All souls may be at different stages in their development, but it's the same development we're all doing. Equal. And now, over 7 billion of us are being offered the unprecedented chance, the choice to transcend the ego together. Of course, there's always physical differences, too. In fact, there never has been two humans exactly alike. Even identical twins are not identical. But we are all 100% as perfectly equal in value as every other human soul. We are all equally powerful, sovereign co-creators of our reality. We are all identical in worth to all other humans, and actually to all life on Earth. And actually all life on every planet in the Meta-Omni universe, because the initiating God-sciousness created all life in existence equally. Spiritual circle number 3 of the Sacred Awakening Truth Triad is: we cannot die ever. While the human body is obviously temporary, your soul is not. Bodies are born, grow, and die, but your soul transforms for infinity. Eventually, all souls will be reunited with the primary original source, God-sciousness Creatorix, in the ultimate spiritual orgasmic singularity that we can't even comprehend. But before then, you might possibly inhabit 9,000 different bodies on 333 different planets, or 23 million bodies on 420,000 different planets. Why? Well, in the eyes of eternity, there's nothing better to do. There is nothing possible to do that is better. We are doing the absolute best possible thing that we could be doing right now, evolving. We are always evolving, always changing, just like the whole omniverse, always transforming forever in eternity. Do you understand the concept of eternity? The ego can't. The ego hates eternity and made up some painful lies about it, but the soul loves it. Endlessness can't be put on a timeline. It has no deadline, and it's a bit too large to comprehend with normal thoughts. So let's have a fresh ponder. Most of us agree that the Earth is over 4 billion years old. Wow, long time. And most of us agree that the Big Bang happened over 13 billion years ago. Whoa, really long time. And that's where most of us stop thinking about it. But consider this. The Big Shrink will start sometime, and just for fun, let's pretend we're almost right at the middle, so after a little wink of 13 billion more years, the Big Shrink will complete itself. All black holes will finally swallow each other into one tiny, unbelievably dense dot. And the intergalactic supercosmic inhalation-exhalation cycle of 26 billion years will big bang and start all over again. Wow. So let's take that 26 billion year omniversal breath cycle and multiply it by, 26 billion times. Whoa. Long time. And then let's multiply that by 999 trillion times. Whoa. And then that whole thing by a quintillion bajillion times. And now you're not even 1% into how long infinity is, or 1/3 trillionth of 1%. Infinity can't be measured in time. It did not start. It has no end. And here we are in what we call 2020, the end times. Oh my goodness. And by the way, where do you suppose we are? The first ever Big Bang. We're now halfway through the first ever Big Bang. Transcending the ego means it's time to outgrow time. Now, the eternal soul, which is your soul, and also the biggest oversoul of them all, the every soul, the womb mind of God-sciousness, lives outside the physical boundaries of space and time. In fact, galaxies, stars, planets, and yes, even rock stars, all exist within the mind of the one source. You share that mind. We are fractals of it. It is ours. We are holy holograms of the one soul mind consciousness. We are the mind of the Creatorix, as he inhabits human bodies on planet Earth, and as she created every being in existence, both spiritual and physical, so that he could experience every possible type of love. And every soul, every being, both physical and non-physical, has free will, on purpose, choice, built in. How could it be any other way? Even the choice to pretend we have no choice is a valid choice. It seems pointless, but by pretending to be powerless victims, blaming scapegoats, we have created certain situations that now need to be healed for our benefit. We needed those tests. And there's no judgment coming from God-sciousness. That's an ego thing. Our transcendence is about healing from our worst possible wounds, which somehow we had to create. How and why is not important now. They cannot be comprehended by the ego, and they are only distractions from being present in the here and now. And the ego seeks answers to those painful questions and a billion more, which only serve to block healing. Release the need to know and embrace the choice to grow. Here we are, my dear soul, perched billions of us tingling. Can you feel it? On the edge of evolution, and all we have to do to win this game is transcend the ego. And all we have to do to transcend the ego is love, forgive, and completely cease all forms of violence in thought, word, and deed, to ourselves and the planet, our mother, and all her other children. Only the ego causes violence to oneself and others. Every human is a crucial piece of the multicolored mosaic mural that never stops painting itself, and we are now ready to stop all the violent images and realities we've been creating for eons. We must. We are evolving past the concept of exclusion and separation. We are one human race on one living space. We are evolving past the concept of war. There is no holy war. There never was. We cannot perpetuate violence of any kind anymore. It blocks evolution by keeping our thoughts and vibrations in the basement of the lower three chakras. We must step up to the heart and allow love to become the new ground floor of our operations. In a few minutes, we're going to repeat some powerful phrases that will help heal your soul and help your ego release its painful grip on your mind. If you are in a place where you are comfortable and it is appropriate to speak out loud, do so proudly to help anchor the strength of these soulful, peaceful statements. If not, it will still help you to repeat them silently in your mind. Please understand, the ego is not evil. It is merely that part of us which has been punished, whipped, abused, and tortured. It is a figment of our imagination, and our minds are so incredibly powerful that we believe anything that our ego tells us. This world that we have created is a sick fantasy of hate, but it's only an illusion. It's a nightmare of terror from which we are all waking up. Therefore, dear soul, we must cease all violence. We must cease watching violence and thinking violent thoughts, and speaking them and typing them on our devices. The mind is so powerful that just by watching or reading about violence, it casts that energetic spell on its own chakras, controlling the inner emotions as though we were actually doing the acts of violence ourselves. Do you remember the movie The Matrix? Yes, I think you do. The Matrix is real, dear soul, but it is in your mind. You control your inner programs by what you think, watch, speak, and feel. We must reject all violence peacefully. Every violent movie, ignore it. Every violent song, ignore it. Every book, magazine, website, video, newscast. Ignore all the violence. Additionally, and therefore, dear soul, there can be no more warriors of light. In the past, it may have been appropriate to call yourself that, but from this moment on, please understand, if you fight at all, and if you call yourself a warrior, you are using the dark force. You are the dark force personified. The soul, your soul, which is a hologram fractal of the one God-sciousness Oversoul, has only love for you and for all of her creations, without separation and without punishment. Any soul who uses violence on any other being is not of the light. There are no sacred soldiers, and there are no light warriors. The ego loves to fight. The soul is love and will not fight. The ego loves to hate, and the ego hates to love. By fighting evil, people make evil stronger. You cannot win the battle over evil. You cannot fight injustice, or you cause the gap to grow wider. Social injustice must be equalized through legal, peaceful, and respectful means. And once enough human beings transcend the ego, this process will be virtually instantaneous. The only way to conquer hate is to love it. The ego hates to love, and the ego loves to hate. In fact, the ego cannot love. It only engages in hierarchical, unbalanced power relationships. Never equal, always calculating, always evaluating. We must shine our light into the darkness of our egos. Shine our light into the world of suffering our egos have created in order to heal all wounds and to grow together healthily in love. We must examine our egos completely unafraid, because we can never die. And we must examine our own individual egos totally unashamed, because all of this murder, torture, rape, and hate was not strictly our fault. Yes, we have choice and free will, but we were lied to and controlled by external forces. Before we say these soul-cleansing statements, please understand the following perspective. Just as we know many souls, famous beings of light and love who incarnated on earth to teach us empowering messages about the incredible potential that we all have, there have been many dark entities who have chosen to incarnate in human bodies to create chaos and disempowerment for the thrill of their own egos. They've been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Divide and Conquer has worked for the whole time to control the masses. But do not hate them. Do not fear them. They thrive on hate and fear. And those special reincarnating light beings, the souls of highest vibration, they seem to reincarnate infrequently, while the destroyers of peace have been steadily sowing the seeds of hate for millennia. Very few of them can control very many disempowered humans by their hateful stories, images, and occasional public displays of torture and murder. And then they also entice regular human egos who desire their dark power. Please understand, dear soul, it was all necessary. We needed it, and we need to stop it all now. All of it. What we must do now is thank these dark souls for their crucial role they played in our history. Thank them for the lessons they taught us. Beam them a quick blast of love, and then ignore them and all their dark energy creations completely. The biggest egos in the world right now are terrified of losing everything. Their whole world is coming apart and crumbling down, and they are getting louder and more obnoxious. Ignore them. It is always darkest just before the dawn. And now many millions of us are waking up to the light, and these dark egos are cringing in fear. We must create the peaceful and harmonious society that is our destiny. The global virus they created is fear, and the vaccine is love with a strong dose of forgiveness. This is the golden double-sided key to our evolution: love and forgiveness. To love is to forgive, and to forgive is to love, neither of which can have conditions, and both of which come directly from the one creative source of all existence, the God-sciousness womb of humanity, directly from her perfect heart, from which your heart was created. And therefore every human being has the fully healing, sacred power of godly love forgiveness inside you. It is your superpower. And so, dear soul, we have set the stage, and we are now ready for the sacred soul statements. So if you are comfortable saying these out loud, do so. So proud. And if not, inside your mind is fine. I completely and totally forgive myself for being violent to myself. I completely and totally forgive myself for being violent to any other soul. I completely and totally forgive my parents, caregivers, and family members for being violent to me. I completely and totally forgive my friends, enemies, co-workers, and neighbors for being violent to me. I completely and totally forgive teachers, preachers, police, and politicians for being violent to me. I completely and totally forgive teachers, preachers, police, and politicians for being violent to humanity. I completely and totally forgive all countries, cultures, and religions for being violent to humanity. I completely and totally forgive all people of all armed forces for being violent to humanity. I completely and totally forgive all physical and non-physical beings for being violent to humanity. Okay, dear soul, let's take a few moments for the enlightenment to grow brighter. true mother, can also be seen as Earth School, and the many lessons we all must learn here are crucial for our spiritual development as souls before we can move on to higher levels, to other dimensions and other planets, and greater accomplishments. But first we must create peace on Earth by amalgamating our soul lessons, by forgiving ourselves, and by loving ourselves, and also by actualizing the sacred triad of transcendent truths. 1, we are sacred souls created by the One Source. 2, all humans are equal. And 3, we can never die. We are all indigenous. We are all from the stars, and one day we will all leave this planet, and it won't be for Mars, but we will leave our Mother Nature. Together we will fly from her nest harmoniously in peace to spread loving life to other life-supporting planets, as was done on this one. And just who is Mother Nature anyway? Let's take a look at her from another perspective, shall we? Earth Goddess Gaia is a soul. She asked to be reincarnated into a living body, this planet, and the omniversal Creatorix source womb said yes, because what actually happened was, at the same time, Star God Soul and Earth Goddess Gaia both approached God-sciousness together and asked to be married until the death of their physical bodies. And the One Source-sciousness, knowing these two unbelievably trustworthy and impeccable souls would honor their word for a perhaps 10 billion year life-giving contract. And the three of them knew that trillions of lives would be born because of their decision. So the omniversal womb source created their bodies for them to inhabit. And upon being blessed with her permission, Star God Soul, that burning, perfect fractal of masculinity, was reincarnated into the living body of an infant star, and she, Earth Goddess Gaia, breathed her own life into this newly formed planet. Yes, that's right. 5 billion years ago, this Earth did not exist. It was not here, nor the sun. Nothing was there but potential and the desire inside the magical loom of existence. And then Hocus Cadabra Expialidocious and Star God Soul suddenly exists, and Earth Goddess Gaia is perfectly situated at the precise distance away for him to impregnate her ocean, the womb of all earthly life. Understand this. There is only one ocean. It's the ocean. It's also called the sea and many other names, of course. Same with air. There is only one air. There are no divisions or separations or sections, except by little things little humans do, and maybe sometimes some natural forces. But the ocean is one body of water. There are endless rivers, of course, which come from the ocean water going up into the air and then falling down as rain and snow on mountains and into valleys, forming these rivers flowing back to the ocean, the one ocean, endlessly moving, changing, shifting, waving at the moon. Yeah, and there's only one moon. It's called the moon. And she, the lunar goddess, is also a soul who chose to inhabit our guiding sphere. She needed to be there too, to create the swell and flow of the tides, which has become entwined in our DNA, which is why the human procreation cycle is the moon cycle. And the human womb has a similar saline content to the ocean. We are all parts of a perfect system. We are all the earth. We are the ocean. We are the sun. We are the moon. We are all God-sciousness. As above, so below, don't you know? We have, all of us, the divine feminine and the divine masculine inside every cell of our body, trillions of cells, elements alive, made from earth and stardust and sunlight, fully cosmic, totally sacred, from the highest, unimaginably largest entity all the way down to your baby toe. Perfect fractals. Does the cosmic truth of as above, so below stay brightly lit in your head now? Wonderful. This transcendence we are perched upon, the doorway of, is about choice and changing our mind. Choosing to change our minds. Choosing to think loving thoughts about ourselves, about all humans, and all animals and all plants, about all life. We can no longer hide behind guilt or disgrace or disempowered, poor me, body-shamed victim stance. Or strike the pose and drop dead gorgeous model stance either, for that matter, because being better than, hotter than, sexier than are all lies created by the ego. Life is sexy, oh yes, and disgusting sometimes, on purpose. The balance is perfect. We are all gods and goddesses personified. We are all both sexes, all genders, gay, lesbian, even straight, and slightly curved to the left. We are all ambisextrous. We are humans, all LGBTQRSUVWXYZ. It's all natural and it's all perfect. Just be yourself. Be natural. Love your natural self and let your ego relax so that your soul can expand your personality to include so much more of your true potential. We must stop pretending that we are the champions and those are the losers. That's just pure ego fantasy. The very concept of a certain group of people being the chosen ones is completely wrong and harmful on a spiritual level. And this illusion produces emotional and physical violence as it has for thousands of years. We all chose to be here, every single soul of us. We self-chose to be chosen by God-sciousness for the purpose of the evolution of our oversoul. We are now evolving into and evolving through the re-acceptance of our sacred and purposeful perfection in heavenly earth. We forgot for a while. We needed to, for this evolutionary upswell that is happening right now, to have so much power and importance. Soon we're going to say some more superpowered healing phrases, but first let's review. To ascend in consciousness beyond the ego, we must accept the sacred triad of truths, or anything of equivalent meaning. We are all eternal, we are all equal, and we are all God, soul, holy hologram fractals. And then, once we've accepted that, we must forgive ourselves for all the pain and suffering from the past. And then we will easily create a global culture of peace on earth. But first, dear soul, it all starts with you inside your heart. That's why we are doing this. We are removing the baggage from the basement of our ego, and it's getting easier. The load is getting lighter. The more of us who evolve, the easier it is for more of us to evolve. In fact, that's why we discovered the 100th monkey effect. We needed that physical proof to prove to us that consciousness transfers from mind to mind, even in our little baby brothers and their 100th monkey sisters. And now we are creating the 1000th Buddha. And our switch will be flicked. Our God-sciousness flick will be switched on, shining our light to everyone in the world and beyond, and on and on. So, dear soul, if you are in a comfortable place, try saying these soul statements out loud, or just repeat them inside your mind. I am an eternal, sacred soul. My soul is a holy hologram of the God-sciousness Creatorix. I was created in the sacred womb of consciousness. I am equal to all other human beings. My soul can never die. All humans are eternal, sacred souls. All humans are holy holograms of the God-sciousness Creatorix. All humans were created in the sacred womb of consciousness. All humans are equal to all other humans. All souls can never die. Wonderful. Let's take a few moments for those statements to permeate your soul and let your ego relax. Keep in mind this shift we are undergoing, this ascension, this remembering can be summed up by one thing. We as a species are transcending the ego. Therefore, we are transcending out of fear and into love, out of the ego and into the soul. But how does the ego form anyway? The ego is the illusion of individuality which forms out of fear. It can be created in the womb for some, and certainly in the birth experience for many, and continues any time the body experiences discomfort that the mind perceives as suffering. Hence, the ego is created in the mind out of suffering. And while there definitely are some positive aspects to the personality, the light side of the ego, like compassion, altruism, protecting oneself from saber-toothed tigers, supporting your children, paying it forward, helping little old men and ladies across the street, and random acts of kindness. It is safe to say that the dark side of the ego has created virtually every social problem on Earth. Every addiction is the ego, including the addiction to suffering. Throughout history, the ego has created unfair laws and rules that have helped the 1% and all their minions. But now we are changing those laws. Laws and rules are actually very important. The soul loves fair rules of play. No single game in existence could even happen without agreed upon guidelines. And now the human soul is beginning to rewrite global guidelines of conduct. We are also therefore necessarily evolving our language, our cultures, our religions, our politics, and this means leaving all violent images, ancient lies, and outdated concepts behind in the dirt where they belong as forgotten fertilizer, which we no longer need to think about when we're adoring the gorgeous flowers and enjoying the delectable fruits. We have been making new, fair, and equitable laws for many decades. And when enough of us transcend our egos, it will be the souls that create all new laws. Our souls will recreate the whole human experience around the concept of money, for example. Money is an idea, a completely neutral representation of work done, energy, thought, for the purpose of fair exchange. The ego created all the complications, but the soul will simplify things instantly. For example, one global type of currency, no exchange rates, with 100% accountability and 100% transparent books for all businesses and governments. Simple. We will write new laws about the human right to free healthcare and free education. We are now writing new laws that make all pollution illegal and make all energy free, 100% renewable energy only. Mother Earth and Father Sun give us all the energy we could ever need for free. We need new laws about resources and ownership. It's really simple. Please recall our funny little gigantic true phrase, as above, so below. And tell me, who owns the universe? Who owns the Milky Way galaxy? Who owns Uranus? Oh, sorry, I just had to... Right. Okay, so... Who owns the sun? Who owns the earth? Who owns Australia? Who owns Europe? Who owns the ocean? Okay, those are ludicrous questions. Then, who owns oil? Ludicrous. The very concept that someone and their friends can own resources is dead. The concept of property tax and property ownership is dead. of course, all of the living earth and all of its resources are to be shared by all humans forever and ever in abundance. All right. Whew. So let's continue with our soul growth with the last round of soul statements in a few minutes after this short envisioning activity. You may want to close your eyes for this and picture a soul floating above the earth just before choosing its new parents. And this soul sees a loving couple who deeply desire a baby to cherish and to raise in loving support. And this floating soul sees the couple making love with hope in their eyes, knowing that her egg is ready, and when he is ready, the instant that his sperm enters that egg, this soul chooses to enter their newly developing child. The woman intuitively, instantly knows she's been impregnated and begins to cry with joy. And the father does too, and they cry together with excitement and bliss for a little while. Then, over the next 9 months, they intentionally prepare everything as perfectly as they possibly can for the birth of their new child, their new soul. You. On a soul level, this is exactly what happened for you. The souls of your parents, not their egos, not their personalities, your parents' souls cherished you so deeply, they asked for you to come, and you agreed. No matter what the ego circumstances were of your upbringing, your parents wanted to raise you in the perfect, intentional, loving family. And on an ego level, you also received precisely the perfect upbringing that you needed, with the exact correct family circumstances for you to grow into the person that you are at this moment, ready to transcend your ego, ready to forgive them, ready to forgive every act of violence that every soul has ever done. And, dear soul, taking into consideration the as above, so below wisdom, this sacred spirit birth is exactly what's happening now on the planet. We as a species are being reborn, a new hybrid type of goddess and god soul species that has never existed here before. Mother Earth Goddess Gaia is so very pregnant right now. She's out to here, and she's in labor, and she's been barely holding back from pushing, knowing the time will be right any moment now, as her contractions have been getting stronger for decades and closer together. And some of us are actually crowning, leading the way, creating space for the rest of us to come crying into existence, and we will be comforted and loved and cleansed, and quickly drinking our mother's milk in perfect abundance, and quickly walking and talking and creating in perfect abundance, living peacefully with our whole earth family, sharing, dancing, playing, creating in perfect abundance. This is our destiny. It is happening now. This is what it feels like. Let's help each other be reborn peacefully and in loving forgiveness. So our last soul statement is a prayer to make a permanent commitment to non-violence in actions, thoughts, and words right now. So finally, dear soul, speak these with a proud and loud voice from the highest hills, in the biggest halls, with your friends, your lovers, and most especially important, to your former enemies, for now you know you have none. I will never intentionally harm another soul or myself. If I ever do harm anyone or myself, I will forgive myself completely. All humans are equal, eternal, sacred souls. There is no other time. There is no other place. One human race. One living space. United in peace. United in love, because we all know we've been sent from above. There is no other time, there is no other place, one human race in one living space, united in peace, united in love, because we all know we've been sent from above. There is no other time, there is no other place, one human race in one living space, united in peace, united in love, because we all know we've been sent from above. There is no other time, there is no other place, one human race in one living space, united in peace, united in love, because we all know we've been sent from above. There is no other time, there is no other place, one human race in one living space, united in peace, united changing our minds. We are waking up from our dark nightmare of history into our bright eternal now. Our minds are incredibly powerful, but now we are adding the dimension of sacredness to our reality creation, and we are evolving our minds by sacred design. The words we speak and think are like casting spells. Use words of love and respect. Love and respect your words. Every word has energy. Choose them impeccably. Choose love and spread love. I love you, one and all. I am a starseed. I am a light worker. I am a wayshower. I'm a patriarchy overthrower. I am a starseed. I am a light worker. I am a wayshower. I'm a patriarchy overthrower. I am a starseed. I am a light worker. I am a wayshower. I'm a patriarchy overthrower. I am a starseed. I am a light worker. I am a wayshower. I'm a patriarchy overthrower. I am a starseed. I am a light worker. I am a wayshower. I'm a patriarchy overthrower. 'Cause that's my destiny, yeah. There is no other time, there is no other place. One human race in one living space. United in peace, united in love. Because we all know we've been sent from above. There is no other time, there is no other place. One human race in one living space. United in peace, united in love. Because we all know we've been sent from above. Oh yeah. I am a star.